Thanks for tuning into the Loss Prevention News Network. I'm Joe LaRocca. You can follow me at LaRoccaJ on Twitter. And while I wait for my next guest to come up behind me here, I thought I'd answer a couple of questions. And the big one that seems to be glaring on Twitter is, how do I get involved in these types of programs? And that's pretty easy. The one big thing we're talking about over the course of the few tapings here today is getting involved with the LP Advisory Council. If you're a senior leader in your retail organization and you want to get involved in the Loss Prevention Advisory Council, contact Bob LaRocca at the National Retail Federation. But within the confines of the NRF's loss prevention program, there's a number of different committees and ways to get plugged in. One is the National Investigators Network program. With calls and meetings across the country, you too can get connected with your colleagues right down the mall. Another way is get involved with the ORCA programs, the Organized Retail Crimes Association. In just a few minutes, I hope to have somebody from the New York metro area to talk about the program here, but there's some great programs in the New England area with the New England Organized Retail Crime Association, ORCA in California, the Twin ORCA program, etc. So look at the local ORC programs available. There's other associations to look at as well. The International Association of Financial Crimes Investigators, or IAFCI, is your key to getting plugged into the fraud investigators and the bank investigators across the country. That's right, the fraud investigators that work at all the nation's major banks and the credit unions across the country generally belong to the IAFCI organization, and the police agencies, including the federal programs tasked with investigating identity theft, mortgage fraud, credit fraud, gift card fraud, etc., all connect with IAFCI. Great place to meet folks. And right now I'm joined by my friend Tarik Sheppard with the NYPD.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Tariq is fresh off a session behind us talking about the latest ORC programs, the good work you're doing here in the metro area. And so we're going to turn it right over to you.
Yeah,
what's going on out here?
Well, so this year will be our first conference that we're going to do at the Police Academy, April 17th. For years after we got started, we were talking about doing a conference in New York. We think it'd be really positive energy heading into NRF and heading into some of the other things that go on during the year conferences, but we want to think about speakers and breakout sessions and how can ours be different and new and fresh. So really excited to be taking the lead here. But if it bombs, then I'll be saying it was Joe's fault.
It's not going to bomb. I know you well enough and feel confident.
Yeah, no, putting a lot of work into it.
It's going to be fantastic.
And looking forward to it, yes.
Okay, the date again.
April 17th. It's going to be at the new Police Academy in Queens. And we're going to be getting the information out through every way possible, through the MetrORCA site, through D&D, just you name it, we're going to be putting it out there and trying to get as much participation as possible. I think the Academy out there can hold about 900 people inside of the auditorium, and then that's not including the vendors and the other rooms that we have set up to do some other things. But,
very nice.
Looking forward to it.
That's going to be great. Now, when we look at the conference here, and you're well connected around the country, and as you talk to your colleagues, what are some of the hot topics we could expect to see at your event, but things you know that are happening around the country as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, we always hear ORC, and what we really want to show there is that number. What does it really mean? 30 billion, everybody says. How is that broken up? How do you find that? What else is going on out there? Cargo theft, what does that look like? What is it? You know, many of our investigators have never even stumbled upon that. So there are a lot of topics, subtopics out there that oftentimes we don't hit, and we assume that people know. And I just think the real issue is not the arrest and not the amount of law enforcement looking for these people, it's the prosecutions. Right. So we really need to get DA involvement, judges. We really need to use the conference as an educational platform for people who not necessarily travel to these things every year. You know it. You know, we need to find the people who don't know and get them in the doors, keep some seats available for them, get them educated so they can go back with that energy and make sure that we're not just doing this work to nowhere. The asset protection people, the law enforcement, you're getting your hands on these people, these perpetrators all of the time, and the next thing you know, they're right back on the street
Right.
doing the same
Repeat
thing.
offenders, frequent
Right.
flyers.
And so our precision policing model in the NYPD is that we believe that there's a small group of individuals around the country that are causing the largest impact.
Right.
When you get your hands on them, that's when we want to see the ORC laws put into place. It's not everybody who comes through your doors.
Right.
Sure, there's going to be some teenager out there who, tries to steal something for personal use. We don't want to see him going to jail for 5, 10 years. But when you get these crews and when you get these high-level offenders, we want the prosecutors to be educated that that's what this is. So we really need to get them through the doors and show them what ORC is all about, and hopefully that'll lead to better prosecutions down the
Right.
line.
I really heard you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you with two challenges, right? The first is get involved in this event.
Yes.
And look at the people in your organization, your retail organization, your law enforcement organization, and maybe even some legislators. But get involved and come learn about the challenges that are facing retail. The second, which is a challenge for all of us, is really our business is changing so rapidly in the way that we sell, receive, ship, develop customer relationships. I'm not just talking online, but I am.
Right.
I'm talking
Right.
360 retail. Learn about the new ways the retail is changing and how we're going to work with law enforcement going forward to go after these groups that are perpetually creating crime in the retail environment.
Absolutely. What we trained our investigators on in 2014, not that it's not relevant today, but things constantly change. They're constantly evolving. So each year we look at the conference as an opportunity to educate. We look at it as an opportunity to get new and fresh information and really just be a springboard into staying in the fight, because you run into these walls and sometimes you feel a little deflated, but it's a way to pump some new energy into our guys, as well as to just look at this problem as it is something that we can manage better if we just continue to work together. Right now, the real issue is we have to start including our legal departments into these groups that we create, because most of the time when we get in order to get an answer on whether you can share information, you got to go through legal. So why are we not bringing legal into the process early on? It's just like the prosecutors. You want a better case, bring them on board early on. So that's going to be really one of the themes going for this conference in April, and hopefully it'll lead to some changes as you go forward with groups like MetrORCA or anything that anybody's doing. We
Right.
have to get those. We have to get the partnerships have to increase and be more inclusive and get the right people in the rooms.
Right. So if somebody wants to sign up for the event or learn more about it, what website do they visit?
Go to MetrORCA.org, or you actually will be able to do it. We're going to talk to Gus and try and see if you can do it through D&D as well.
There you go. Tariq, I'd like to thank you for spending a few minutes with us. Thanks for all the good work that you do, the entire NYPD. What a challenge. And congratulations on a successful New Year's, another successful New Year's Eve. And really, so many incidents this October and just so challenging right now. Thank you for all the retailers out there. Really appreciate it.
So thank you.
And
for your friendship.
thank you for tuning in. I'm going to turn it back over to Gus Downing right now.